everybody to another episode of Casual Opinions Podcast. Back at it again with the Book of Boba Fett action today. Going to be discussing episodes 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. I was going to say to be discussing episodes 1 and 2 of Mandalorian season 3, but I feel like I'd be about the 400th person, 100,000th person to make that joke. So
Book of Boba Fett it doesn't mean it's not true.
Episodes 5 and 6 today. I am Zach Kellner, joined by the president of the Anti-Ahsoka fan club, Caleb Kellner.
Hi.
And one of Max Rebo's number one groupies, Haley Deal. Got the crew back together here to talk about these two episodes. I think episodes that were praised in a vacuum, like really really good television, but just kind of awkward in when and where they are coming. In that respect, I think is kind of the consensus I've gotten. But we will get into those here shortly. Anything you guys want to say before we kick things off here? General thoughts on
everything that we say is out of love for Star Wars.
Yes. No matter how aggressive it may come off.
We love Star Wars, and we would never want it to end. We just want it to be better than it can be.
And also, massive and heavy spoilers are sure to follow here.
I like the part where Mando died. That was really fun.
And then he, in just like Scorpion, he's reincarnated as a hellfire demon of himself.
He's just even more cool.
Get over here. All right, so instead of going through I feel like last time I took way too long going through the episode bit by bit. I think today instead we're going to start with episode 5, go to episode 6, but with each one we'll do just sort of a 90-second recap here. I tried to take the 50-minute television episode and condense it down into the most basic and important 90 seconds. So I'm going to do that first for episode 5 here, then we'll kind of fill in the blanks and talk about how we felt about episode 5, then move on to episode 6. Do either of you guys want to... Do you have a timer on your phone? I can pull one up on mine. See if I can get it in under 90 seconds.
Yeah, go. I mean, if you need me to pull one up, I can, but it's whatever.
I've got one here. All right. So episode 5, I believe, was titled Return of the Mandalorian. So here we go. Let me get my recap here.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
I didn't know that he would return. What do you mean Darth Vader's Luke's father?
I will say I like that they don't tell you the episode title when you're in the menu in Disney Plus. You don't see it until it starts. It just says like chapter 5, but it doesn't give you the title. I like that.
I never noticed that, but yeah.
All right, here we go. So we open on a Sopranos-esque mob kind of meat factory where Mando is there to collect bounty. He goes in. He can bring them in warm or he can bring them in cold. He murks all the sumbitches in there with none other than the Darksaber himself, but clips himself in the leg in the process. He goes on to claim his reward, but what he really wants is information. He uses that information to find the armorer in Paz Vizsla hiding on this Elysium-style space station. There he learns that they're the only two remaining from the incident on Navarro. While with them, Mando melts down the Beskar spear to something for Grogu. He trains with the Darksaber, where we learn that he is, quote, fighting against the weapon. We get some lore on the Purge of Mandalore. Paz challenges Mando to a duel. Beats Paz, but then he's kicked out for having taken off his helmet. If he wants to rejoin his Mandalorian covert, he has to go to the living waters of Mandalore to redeem himself. He's going to need a ship to get there, so he heads off to Tatooine, where he meets up with Pelly in her droids again, where we get to see a cute little BD droid. There they modify a Naboo starfighter. Mando is almost arrested by the New Republic X-Wings while on a test drive. And then upon his return, he is recruited by Fennec Shand, who asks him to provide muscle for Boba Fett. The episode ends with him offering his help free of charge, but he says he needs to go see a little friend first. So, that was 1 minute and 42 seconds. I went over my 90 seconds
You
there
failed.
by a little bit.
Yeah. Still
2-minute
quick to the
recap.
point.
Really, this episode was split into 2 larger parts, so I suggest we start at the top. We start with sort of the space station part of this episode, and then the second half is the Tatooine part of this episode. I guess first, was there anything big that I missed? Was there anything big that you guys wanted to go into on this episode? Because I definitely sped through some of that.
Well, I didn't like it.
Whoa, hold on. What?
Wait, what? How is that possible?
I wasn't expecting you to say that you didn't like it. I was expecting you to say that you liked it, but it is a weird placement in the Boba Fett show.
Well,
Or
okay, yes.
do you,
That is more so,
do
obviously,
you mean
what
you
I was
don't
going.
like it within the confines of Book of Boba Fett, or do you not like it in general?
Yes.
Yes,
I
what?
said an either or question. And the answer you.
Yeah, no, I already said. Yeah, no, yeah. It's just annoying.
I think, and I don't want to answer for Caleb here, but I suspect, at least for this episode and probably for the next one, that if this exact same episode was put under the Mandalorian title, Caleb would have no problem with it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in the same boat.
It made me very angry and upset for Boba Fett, plain and simple. I rolled my eyes throughout this entire episode. And if I were to ever rewatch Book of Boba Fett, I am going to skip this episode. I don't want to, but I have to. If I ever rewatch Mandalorian Season 3, I'll start with this episode of Book of Boba Fett, and then I'll go straight into the first episode of Season 3. That's how I'll do it.
I'm going to be curious to see how everything finishes, but I wonder if this then, like, if not watching this would have a negative impact on, like, a rewatch, right? Like,
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't want
skip
them
these
to
episodes-
just copy it for the first episode, though.
Right. I was also going to say, and now I think I'm forgetting. I don't think it bothered me as much as it probably bothered you guys. I was going to say, while watching this episode, I kept going, okay, when does Boba Fett come in? Okay, all right. Okay, Boba Fett's obviously not here. When he goes to Tatooine and we spend about half the episode on Tatooine, I'm like, okay, when's he going to run into Boba? When's he going to run into Boba? When's he going to run into Boba? He just never did. Obviously,
Literally.
Boba Fett is in 0 seconds of episode 5 here, which I will say is certainly curious in the Book of Boba Fett title here.
It's
Kind of
traitorous.
think, and this is obviously it's a Disney product at this point. I kind of almost think of it in like a Marvel-esque shared universe kind of thing, where the titles don't necessarily matter as much, right? Like Iron Man is a fairly main character in Spider-Man: Homecoming, right? And he's a main character in Captain America: Civil War, and it just kind of feels like that's almost kind of what they're doing here. Is they're kind of making quote Mando-Verse. So while definitely Mando came in and immediately stole the show, right? I think our concerns at the end of episode 4 was, what if Mando comes in and just
Whips out the Darksaber and completely steals the show.
I think I said exactly that. Like,
Yeah,
Mando
we
brings
did.
out the Darksaber, good luck, Boba
And then
Fett,
he
but
immediately hijacked the episode.
And
I
that's
will.
that I was going to say that's my main concern with any Star Wars project going forward, because what if they do this for Kenobi? You
Right.
know,
Right.
what if we get like, you know, our
It won't.
6 episode
It
series of
could.
Kenobi, and there are 2 episodes that decide to go on a little side tangent with like Wedge Antilles, and it's like, hey,
No,
or
there's
no,
going
no,
to be a
no,
Lars Owen moisture farming arc.
no, wait, you know, it'd be better. Ahsoka. We get 2 episodes
Yeah.
to catch up on Ahsoka and see how
Right.
she's doing
Right.
and how she relates to Obi-Wan. But she doesn't ever see Obi-Wan until he shows up at the very end of the second episode where she shows up, and all he does is just kind of smile and nod
He just said,
and
hello
just ride
there.
off.
And then it
No,
ends.
guys, I wanna butt in and push back on that a little bit. I
Go for
don't
it.
think that will happen like this in future shows for a couple different reasons. One, they're probably going to learn from their mistakes. Okay, they're going to see people being like, "Okay, this was awesome, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense." Kind of where it's placed. Also, it's important to be aware and to remind ourselves that they did call this Mandalorian 2.5.
They did.
Ming Na Wen, Fennec Shand, said she didn't even know she was filming a different show. She was under the impression she was still filming Mandalorian for a lot of this.
Yeah. I know she
Also-
said that like a few weeks ago, but it was like I believe the heads of Lucasfilm, like Kathleen Kennedy and all them, said just recently after facing the backlash from this that oh yeah no we set out to essentially make Mandalorian 2.5, and I'm like, well then you shouldn't have called it the Book of Boba Fett,
For real.
because like what are you like, to use another example, I've already pointed this out. What if there were, you know, in Peacemaker on HBO Max, we're focusing on Peacemaker, we get 4 episodes of focusing on him and his character, and then suddenly we get 2 episodes deviating from him and we focus on Harley Quinn and her doing things. Yeah, it's great to see her doing her stuff, but you've broken up the whole like pacing and the progression of the narrative that we've already set up for that other character. I was already invested in them, and now I have to take 2 weeks off to no longer focus on that character and learn what this other character is going through and doing. And it's just it ruins the pacing for me for the most part. If anything, I think episode 5 should have been maybe like a beginning of December kind of release. Like, hey, here's an episode. Don't forget to watch Book of Boba Fett releasing later this month. I think that would have been a great like lead into. So then people would be like, oh, Mandalorian. Oh yeah, Book of Boba Fett. I can't wait to watch that and see how all this ties together. Mandalorian is going to be in Book of Boba Fett at some point. And then you watch from the start and you're just like, okay, cool, we're getting to know Boba. And then Mandalorian can show up and it doesn't feel as jarring because you've already established that he's going to be there. But that was my initial thought upon watching episode 5. But then episode 6 comes around, which we'll get into. But with the presence of episode 6 basically doing the exact same thing and not showing us Boba and giving us more of Mando, it doesn't work like to do something like that, releasing it before. So I just don't know what their thought going forward was. And I think they needed to rework their marketing strategy to let us know that this is Mando 2.5, instead of just letting one of the actors tweet out, I didn't know it was Book of Boba Fett. You need to establish it from the beginning and don't call it Book of Boba Fett. That's just me.
Well, I'll say, I get what you're saying, but I just think at this point they just push this to season 3, dude. I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. You can call it Book of Boba Fett if we keep it Book of Boba Fett, like have Book of Boba Fett. He's the main character. Let's keep him the central focus and not shift it over to Mando, but I don't know.
There were a lot of online discussions talking about how other shows do this kind of stuff, where they have an interlude. Like, they call them, for Doctor Who, they call it Doctor Who Light. And some of the most famous episodes of that are like the Weeping Angels, and the Secret Society, that kind of is like a bunch of people who have seen Doctor Who, and they're trying to figure out who he is and that kind of thing. Those episodes are fine, and they work because they still center around the titular character, and he's still somewhat involved in the plots, and he's still somewhat present. Whereas in this show, this doesn't feel like Boba Fett light. This just feels like, hey, remember that other show that you guys really like and you've enjoyed all the way through? Yeah, we're just going to give you 2 episodes of that because we know you'd rather be watching that than Boba Fett, apparently. So it feels weird to have a book with 7 chapters, and for 2 of those chapters to be completely deviating from the main plot and focusing on the goals and ambitions of a secondary character from a completely different book entirely. I don't know. That's where I'm at with this. That's all of my gripes and complaints in general for these
to
two
read more
episodes.
books, man. Got to read more books. They always do that.
They
Detour
always
off, give you
do that, but they
something
don't
else.
take up a huge chunk of the book to deviate from the titular character. And
Really
there's
depends
always
on
a
the book.
point. You don't have those characters going off and like going to another place entirely to do their thing and then come back and get involved in the plot. It's like they go and do their thing and it completely takes you away from it, and they come back and they're like, all right, I'm here to help out with whatever your goals and ambitions are.
Well, we also haven't finished this yet, so I'm sure they're going to connect back around.
Right, which again, I don't want the finale to be little baby Grogu just flying in out of nowhere
Jeez.
wearing
That I-
Beskar armor.
That I think they will save for Mando. That I do. I really, really do think they will save that. But one other thing that I wanted to say, to the point I was kind of making later, I don't think that they're going to do stuff like this with the other shows. And I know that it's probably triggering to you guys to say this. Not going to happen in the Obi-Wan show because Obi-Wan's bigger and better character than Boba Fett. He can carry his own show better than perhaps they thought Boba Fett could carry a show. And I'm not saying that Boba Fett couldn't carry a show by himself. I'm just saying
They didn't give him a chance.
character to the Obi-Wan is so much bigger that
Yeah.
they would not detour from this. Okay,
But
you've got
they could.
Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, bigger name actors. No disrespect to Tamura Morrison, but for the bigger names, like if you gave us a 6-episode Obi-Wan show, you took entire episodes off from Obi-Wan, the people would cannibalize Lucasfilms.
Yeah, they
And I
probably
know
would.
people are not terribly excited or happy about what's going on with this, but I think that Obi-Wan is a show that is sort of separate from this, quote, Mando-Verse that they are doing. I wouldn't be surprised if Mando, had a lot of screen time and say Ahsoka coming up, for example, because it does kind of feel like there's sort of this Filoni, Favreau, Mando-Verse that they're sort of intertwining with one another there. Obi-Wan feels separate from that to me.
Fingers crossed.
So
I really want there to be like the Kenobi series gets released and the first thing you see isn't even like Kenobi or Tatooine. You just get an entire 5-episode arc of like Grand Moff Tarkin just like dicking around on the Death Star, and then a stormtrooper comes up to him and is like, "Oh hey, we found out Kenobi's on Tatooine," and he's like, "Oh no," and then the 6th episode is Kenobi just fighting a bunch of stormtroopers, and that's it. I kind of want that to be the case, just because I think it would be funny for like our fandom to just melt down and just turn against like the world. I
that's
don't
bold
want it to
assume
happen,
that
but
it
at the same
hasn't
time,
already.
I think it would be hilarious if that's what they did. Just how tone deaf Lucas would be. Not Lucas, Lucasfilm would be to just think that's a good idea.
Well, we kind of didn't actually really talk about episode 5. Was there anything in the we kind of just ranted on the existence of it, which again, a little odd.
That's all there is to talk about it for me.
I guess one question would be, Bailey, I know you said something like, what if they had just released this as almost kind of like a prequel or a predecessor, like a tease for Mando 3 and Boba Fett. What if they had? Because I think what makes it really awkward is it's 2 entire episodes without Boba Fett. What if they had what if episode 5 they put in between, say, 3 and 4. So then you go 3 of Boba Fett, you get 1 of Mando, then you get to see Boba Fett again. So it's not 2 weeks where you don't even see the main character of the show. I feel like if you placed episodes, and obviously some of them you'd have to make little tweaks to it, because the end of 4 they talk about recruiting people, but then you see Finnick in 5, so you could make little tweaks to it. But if you had put them in different spots, do we think we would have liked that better, so it wasn't
It
2 weeks without Boba Fett?
it would have been
I
better,
think that would have helped.
but I still wouldn't. Ultimately, I would have been still pissed that an entire Mando or entire Boba episode was a Mando episode, because that was my reaction at the end of this first episode before the other one even came out. I was like, what the hell?
They
I mean-
could have called this like Tales of Tatooine or something like that, or they could have done something with like Tatooine Underground.
The episode
give us,
ordering
like-
would have helped, though. It would have helped, but I still ultimately am
100%.
just angry.
I guess
Yeah.
before we go on to 6, it sounds like the complaints aren't really with the episode
Correct.
itself,
Correct.
because
No,
I think
no, good
I think
episode.
as a piece of Star Wars television, it's a freaking 10 out of 10 episode.
Good episode.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
didn't need to be here.
Dark Saber, you just like so much in that episode. Like if we were to actually go deep into it, I liked to see Mando work the dark saber, and there's sort of that it gets heavy as he swings it, right? He's fighting with the dark saber and sort of fighting with himself. That kind of goes back to when in Rebels, when Sabine is like training with Kanan when she has the dark saber. As you know, I'm kind of a big Rebels fangirl. Like all
Yeah.
the stuff. I love lore. I could just eat lore. I could have listened to the Armorer talk about Mandalorian history for 45 minutes straight. Like they're talking about the Night of the Thousand Tears, right? The purge of Mandalore. You get to see those K2S Alexes walking around, just blasting people in the ground there. Like all that shit was so cool to me, and it really did feel like almost an extension of Rebels in some respects, because they talk about Bo-Katan. There's all the heavy Darksaber lore, which comes up in Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. I thought it was awesome. I thought OSHA would probably be pretty upset with the substrata there with no fucking railing. Like, what's up with the Star Wars universe and not having railing above on big drops?
I will
there?
say, he swings the Darksaber and falls over the side, and he just goes, "Oh!"
Oh,
I was like, "Oh!" I'm sitting there. I was like, "Oh, great! Now we can get back to Boba now that Mando's dead." But nah, he had to fly.
yeah. Other than that, like within the episode, I loved that Mando had to fly commercial. There
Oh
was
yeah,
a-
and check the Darksaber with luggage.
Yeah. There was a line in there about Mythosaur, and they said something like, "Sadly, it only exists in legends," which I thought was just kind of a cheeky little joke about
Yeah.
legends. And then the big my episode MVP, if we're gonna do episode MVPs, is the freaking little BD droid.
Yeah.
Loved getting the BD droid. Little nod to Fallen Order.
Yeah,
did see
I
some-
guess I can agree with you on that.
I did see some internet hullabaloo that, what if this is the same BD droid? What if this is Cal's BD droid? I'm
No,
like,
shut
stop.
up.
There's other BD droids out there.
Right.
Like, quit. So, all in all, I thought it was a kick-ass episode. It was weird. Again, placement, I will agree. I'm probably less upset with it than you guys are, because I'm kind of just treating this in my head as sort of the Mando-Verse, right? The sort, so to me, it's one fluid entity that's what I'm putting in my head here. I will say, before we get to 6, at the end of episode 5, I probably said this to you guys, I was like, okay, we're going to go back to Boba Fett. There's no way we're going to see Grogu. Not a chance. 0% chance. I even wrote my episode 5 questions list, do you think we see Mando go see Grogu? And I was, in my head, I was like, no way. I felt like they were going to find a way to ground the Mandalorian, like he's like, oh, I got to go see my friend, and then like the Pikes, shoot down or damage his new Naboo starfighter thing because the Jawas stole some parts from the Pikes. Like I thought somehow we're gonna trap Boba Fett on Tatooine, and there was a zero.
Mando.
Yes, Boba Fett already trapped in this
Right.
dark hell. I I wonder. I wondered and was ultimately proven wrong. But did anybody have anything else for episode 5 there?
The effects, I could tell their budget definitely jumped and that they were saving their effects budget for these most recent episodes. Because I will say that some of the effects in those first 4 were not exactly like up to par with what we've seen before from the live action series. But this one, it looked gorgeous. Like him flying around in space even was just... That was good Star Wars right there. And the effects definitely enhanced it. Also, I just loved the ship. Like, not a lot of people were too keen on it, but I love it.
Yeah, Naboo. Starfighter, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah, that was a cool ship.
Shit was Wizard, man.
You can tell its redesign is only to sell toys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Sure. So, yeah, I ended episode 5 going, all right, get back to Boba Fett. Mando's going to be there. Boba Fett's going to be the main character. And even before the episode came out, the official Star Wars Twitter account tweeted the picture of the little bundle of Beskar stuff, and they're like, hey guys, don't miss this episode. So let's get into episode 6 then. If you thought Caleb was upset with episode 5, Caleb was wildly upset with episode 6. Let me do the 90-second recap here. Maybe I can get it in under 90 seconds here this time. Pull up my sleeves here.
Good luck. Cool. This is a lot.
This is a lot. Okay. Ugh. Got it all written out, but I didn't actually time it, so here we go. This episode starts with the return of the sexy Marshal of Freetown, Cobb Vanth.
Woo.
Vanth lays the law down on some Pikes and murks their asses in the desert. We then cut to Mando on his quest to track down Grogu. He somehow finds Luke's future Jedi Temple planet. We then get a scene where Luke is meditating with Grogu, and Grogu gets distracted by a little frog. Luke then flexes his Force powers on baby Yoda Grogu there by catching hella frogs with the Force. Mando is waiting around to see his baby boy when Ahsoka pops up, and somewhere in the world, Caleb is triggered. Ahsoka essentially talks Mando down from seeing Grogu, stating that if he did, he would only make his training harder. Luke continues to train Grogu in the Force. We get to see Luke tap into Grogu's Order 66 memories, and we get to see Grogu channeling his inner Yoda on ketamine as he flips all around planet. Towards the end of the training, Luke feels Mando's and Grogu's attachment and questions whether Grogu's heart is in his training. We finally get back to Tatooine. We get 30 seconds of Boba Fett, and then Mando sets out to recruit troops for Boba's cause. Mando tries to convince Cobb and his friends to join and gets a solid maybe. However, Cobb is tragically shot down by none other than Cab Bane shortly after Mando leaves. Somewhere in the world, Caleb is horny. The episode ends with Luke presenting Grogu with a choice. You can rejoin the Mando, or you can stay behind and be a Jedi. Boom. Yes. That was a minute 27. Got it under the 90 seconds there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel like that covers the gist of it. I feel like that hits the big points here.
You left out the armor. What was it?
Oh yeah, little chainmail, little Mando, little baby Grogu chainmail.
And what was the Luke offering him as a Jedi?
Yoda's lightsaber.
Yoda's lightsaber.
Maybe this is like a thing in the comics or something. I was under the impression that Yoda lost his lightsaber at the end of episode 3.
He did. Okay, so the comics are that he loses the lightsaber. Vader, I guess it gets captured somehow. Vader sends it to be destroyed. And then Yoda winds up, in another comic, rebuilding his lightsaber and bringing it back to Dagobah. and kind of just chilling with it.
Interesting. I've not seen those.
Yeah,
So I was kind of curious about how that um, happened
it's
here.
it's obscure enough of a detail that it's like it's not gonna break the world.
Right, yeah. I'm not too worried about that. But this episode, much like the last one, as an episode of Star Wars television, to me was a straight flamethrower fire of an episode. Just banger after banger after banger here. Now, again, and we kind of already talked about this, there's the pretty obvious absence of Boba Fett here. We pretty much go, an hour plus, closer to 2 hours with only about 30 seconds of Boba Fett.
And he
So
doesn't say anything.
he has zero
Doesn't
words. I went back and
say
watched it.
anything.
Went back and watched it twice to see, and he didn't say a damn thing. Um,
He's finding his origins in the Star Wars universe, being a side character
In
who
his
just
own
stands
show.
there and doesn't say anything.
so with this episode, um, let's start at the top. I liked opening with Cobb. I thought opening
Oh, yeah.
with Cobb was great.
Very
I'm a
strong.
big fan of Cobb Vanth from the novels. I'm actually wearing a Cobb Vanth shirt that I actually bought today.
Oh, is it the one where is it the Mandalorian one?
Yeah, it's a Target exclusive, baby.
Yeah, that's the one that I
Um,
got.
Is he attractive on it?
You can't see his face, but you can tell he's sexy.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
He's got the
little
red scarf.
red scarf and the belt. I thought it was so cool. Every time somebody says "think it through" from here on out, I'm just gonna get shivers.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh,
a
yeah.
good line.
That's gonna be
Oh,
my new
my.
poker line.
Oh.
Like if I'm playing poker or anything like that, I'm gonna be like, think it through, and then wait for them to fold.
So I thought that was a good start. I was like, okay, this is fine, right? We're gonna get Cobb. This is great. It'll make sense with Boba, right? There's the armor connection. There's the Mando connection. That's what'll tie it all together. But then it cuts to Mando zooming off to Luke's temple here. We don't actually ever get to see the two back together. We do get a lot of Grogu and Luke time together, and I thought the Luke deep fake looked really good, better than it did even at the end of Mando.
Yeah, it looked
Oh,
better.
fun fact: they hired the guy or one of the guys on YouTube
Mhm.
who basically sought out to improve the deep fake from Mando season 2,
Yeah.
and he, like a lot of people agreed, he did a better job than Disney and Lucasfilm did in
Yeah, so
deep
they hired
faking
him.
his face. So they hired him. And were like, "Hey, yeah, can you do all this for us?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure."
So let's tackle the uh, Luke's temple. Let's tackle the Jedi temple part of all of this here.
I love every line that they say about the temple being like the safest place, and that Luke is. I'm sitting there, and everyone else was saying like I felt so sad during those moments, and I'm like I'm sitting there laughing just because I know what's happening or gonna happen.
I wrote that down. I wrote down Ahsoka's line, "No place in the galaxy is more safe than here with Luke." And then I wrote next to it, "Say that again in 20 years."
Oh, the Screen
Good.
Crush did a good bit where it was like
Right.
no place is safer than all this, and they did the Always Sunny in Philadelphia text where it's like Luke gets all of his Jedi killed.
Yeah, so I thought this was. I'll let Caleb go here in a minute because Caleb has feelings. I liked it. I thought it was good. We know that I'd rather it have not been Luke, because I feel like there is so much Star Wars out there. Why do we got to keep tying it into the same family? No disrespect to Luke. I'll disrespect Luke later. But I kind of had wished it was a different Jedi that had recruited Grogu. But I was fine with all of this. Liked getting the Grogu training montage. Anything with Grogu in it. He's too cute to not enjoy being on the screen there. I thought it was cool
Too
that we
marketable.
got. Yes, I thought it was cool that we got the Order 66
Yeah, that was cool.
bit there. That was neat. I know Caleb is no lover of Ahsoka, but I am not anti Ahsoka. She's not one of my all time favorite characters, but she had a nice line in there that was, she said she was an old friend of the
She had
family,
a
which I
dumb
thought
line
was,
because she's dumb.
I thought, I thought that was cute. A lot of Star Wars fans had been wondering and asking themselves for a long time, especially Clone Wars fans, do Ahsoka and Luke ever meet up? Because there would obviously be a close relationship there because of her relationship with his dad. But I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was cute. It was kind of hard to see. I was upset with Luke and Ahsoka during this because I was just like, just let him see the goddamn baby, Ahsoka. Quit
For
gaslighting
freaking
Mando
real.
here, and Luke, quit shooting lasers at baby Grogu and then making fun of him when he can't jump very high. You see how small he is? He does that cute little jump, and Luke's just like, bitch, is that the best you can do? It's like, leave him alone.
I did
He's a
like when he
baby.
was like force jumping him though while they were walking.
Yeah,
That was cute.
I like when Luke shot him.
I didn't. That pissed me off.
That was very funny.
Luke is lucky that Mando wasn't there because Mando would have started throwing hands.
Oh
I
yeah.
know he.
Oh
How
yeah.
dare you? Boom, boom.
That's the only reason why they really kept him away.
So they could
Whooped his
shoot
ass.
Grogu.
But still, one of the most satisfying things ever in Mando is when those douchebag stormtroopers are like punching Grogu, and then IG-11 shows up and it's just like, you guys fucked up. Blah 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 blah. So Caleb, go ahead and just be angry here for a minute.
Unleash the beast.
Well, I'm not really a big fan of Ahsoka, and that's pretty apparent that I don't. I can't. Why? Dave Filoni, why do you need to shove her down my throat every second you freaking get? I don't care about her. I hated her when she came in, in that kind of garbage Clone Wars movie. I hated her. Everybody hated her. I'm the only one that still hates her. Why does everybody like her now? Why do we have to see her in every single show? It's annoying. This is the Book of Boba Fett. God damn it. I hate it. Also, you left the Jedi Order. Either be a Jedi or don't. Don't come crawling back to the Skywalker family. All right? Just stop. Stop. I'm over it. Over it.
Were you also kind of confused by the fact that her being not a Jedi anymore was very much like, oh, he can't have attachment.
Exactly. I'm like, pick a
You left
side.
the
Shut
Order
up.
For various reasons. You'd think like you would see through the Jedi Order original hypocrisy and teach Luke that that's wrong.
That
to teach
part,
them.
that part I did not like, right? Because her whole bit is, she leaves the Jedi Order, and then they
Right.
even invite her to come back, and she's like, nah, that ain't for me. But
Right.
then here she just basically sounds like
It's
Jedi
the only
God
way
was.
for Grogu. Yeah,
Which
it's
is like,
stupid.
So that was a little hypocritical.
Yes.
I like Caleb, did not like Ahsoka, but I don't think a lot of people did at the beginning. But I think she gets
No one
better as a
Everybody
character.
hated her. I still hate her.
It's clear that Dave Filoni is simping pretty hard over his own creation there.
Dude,
Like,
everybody wants to just bang her. That's all it is. I'm serious. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of horny fucking losers that just want to bang her. It's pathetic. And Dave
I do
Filoni's
not,
capitalizing
but-
on that.
Take your bank, Dave. I don't know. I think that she got better as a character. I wasn't upset that she was in this episode.
She was
but
forced to be cool. They had to give her cool
is.
lightsabers. Blah.
She did say some things in this episode that I thought were a little obnoxious. But I'm be excited for the Ahsoka show because
God
so much
damn it.
Ahsoka.
I hate that. Ugh.
not because of Ahsoka, but because you guys know if Dave Filoni is horned up for Ahsoka, I'm horned up for Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Ron.
Like,
Yeah.
gimme. And I'm horned up for Ezra too. So
God damn it.
if that gets me what I want, let's do it.
Like, I'm going to watch it, obviously, but I wish I
You're just
didn't
gonna be
have
angry
to.
the whole time.
Yes, I'm
That's
gonna be angry the whole
a series of
time.
Episodes. I think
We get like the best episode in any of the TV shows, but Caleb has to hate it because it has Ahsoka in it.
I'm honestly, I'm not as obsessed with Thrawn as you are, but that's probably going to be the prime reason why I'm watching it too, because he is pretty badass.
Oh, did you know that Thrawn is played by Mads Mikkelsen's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zach told me that.
Yeah.
Shout
shitty
out.
Joke is that my shitty joke one time was, "Oh hey Caleb, I heard they're gonna hire me to play Thrawn for live action."
You got the head for it.
Well, fuck you.
Doesn't he got a pretty crazy dome?
Yeah. Well, whatever. The joke is that you're Mads Mikkelsen and I'm your brother. So.
Yeah, no, I got it. It was great. I just decided to chime in there.
But after we get the training montage and Mando drops off his package and leaves because Ahsoka's just gaslighting him, go back. We get to see old Chrome Dome Boba Fett there for about 30 seconds. Fennec Shand is basically laying the law, explaining everything. And then we go back to Bob, right? Mando shows up, and that dipshit deputy's like, "Hey, man, you gotta park somewhere else." And Mando's like, "Excuse me? I'll kick your ass right here." Like, do you know who you're talking to?
Everyone, as soon as they heard "you gotta park somewhere else," I think everyone unanimously went, "This
shoot
guy's
him.
Getting shot."
Yeah, I was like, shoot him.
Yes. They officially make Mos Pelgo Freetown, which was a name that was mentioned in the Cobb Vanth sections of the novels. They call it Freetown. So I was curious if that would ever show up because they kept referring to it as Mos Pelgo.
Freetown.
Freetown.
A little corny, but all right.
Weequay.
That's a new
like
soundboard.
Freetown.
Freetown.
Bob does have a history of being a crime fighter. Well, obviously as sheriff, but he was also a former slave and broke out of slavery, so he definitely has some reason to be beefing with crime syndicates and things like that. He was a slave before he was the marshal. But then we get the part that I'm sure Caleb absolutely just creamed over.
Creamed hard. Just.
I mean, he's not the only one. Like, as soon as I saw the silhouette, I went, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it was just that one silhouette way out there. I'm like, no way.
I was my sort of not actual live reaction, but I was like taking notes. That's what I watch it the first time and I'll like take notes, and then I'll watch it a second time just to enjoy it. And I wrote, "Who dat walking up on Cobb? ... Give me a duel. Fuck me, it's Cad Bane. Please, please, please. It is. Oh Jesus fucking fuck, it's Cad Bane." That was what I wrote. I thought Cad Bane looked kick ass.
Oh yeah, I love that he's kind of a little withered and grayed.
Scary. Yeah, he's kind of paler.
Yeah.
I mean, dude looked older, but I think that made him more terrifying.
Yeah. He looked great.
Like, even in age, he is still ruthless and badass and scary.
And exactly what I wanted.
He's even kind of like raspy, Like, oof.
He's getting old.
Yeah.
Damn. This is exactly what I've been wanting since Mando.
There was a guy on YouTube who went in and he just basically like restructured Cad Bane's face and the coloration to make him look more like the animated series version, because he just does that because he thinks it's like kind of fun and a good thing to play around with, and it looks pretty legit. But everyone took his video and they started advertising it as "he fixed Cad Bane's face," and I'm like, he just did his thing. He wasn't like seeking to fix it. He just wanted to restructure it for fun. And he had to go on Twitter and like clarify that all of these like nerd news studio outlets that were saying that he was fixing it, he's like, that wasn't the intent. He looks great. I just wanted to see what it would look like if he were like frame by frame, pixel by pixel, the exact same as he was in animation.
Yeah.
Which is really distorted.
Yeah.
Because if you try to do that with like Count Dooku from Clone Wars, you
Oh,
get
God.
terrifying results.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was I saw what you were talking about, and that was my favorite response. Was people were underneath like, "Oh yeah, I made the live action Count Dooku look more like his Clone Wars version." His head is just like,
It's just a really long head.
yeah. So that part was awesome.
It was so good.
I'm pretty positive Cobb is still alive. Looks like it got
Oh,
him in the
yeah.
shoulder.
He's not
I was
dead.
about to say they broke it down frame by frame, and it was definitely a shoulder shot. However, it is his shooting arm, so
Yeah.
that
Now-
might be hindered.
Little
I gotta
Debbie got
ask.
slaughtered.
I gotta ask you guys. I think it's probably gonna happen personally, but like, do we think that this is gonna be the end of Cad Bane? You think we're gonna finally see the end of our legendary character that we love so much? I think it'd be a good end.
Off for him.
Yeah, I
him
think.
and Boba having like a duel.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. He's such a
Which,
badass.
I mean, they even teased up like Fennec probably like throwing down with him in the Bad
That'd
Batch.
be cool. That'd be yeah.
I would
Rematch
like to see
there.
that where this time instead of her winning, it's like Cad Bane gets the upper hand, and then Boba arrives and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, Bane, shoot a boop doop poo poo poo."
Yeah,
just
I
shoot
bet.
at each other.
I think it'll
wonder
be a
if-
good send off.
I wonder if Cad
Yeah.
Bane outshoots Boba Fett, and then they kind of get into a tussle, and then Boba Fett uses his old Tusken staff and gets the upper hand with that.
That'd be
Ooh,
cool.
That'd be good.
I think one thing that I forgot to mention in the 90-second recap is, and this is probably very traumatic to Bailey, the Pikes go to the sanctuary
Oh no!
with Gareth Whip and just kablooey.
Kablooey. I don't think he made it, Bailey. I'm sorry.
No, wait, hang on. There's hope. There is hope. If you go through frame by frame and look at all the band, you don't see Max Rebo in there, so there's a chance.
True.
There's
Really?
a chance that
Hmm.
Max Rebussi is still alive.
Do you think Gareth Whip makes it out? I think
Oh
so.
no, she's.
Don't think so?
I don't think her or Sexy Twi'lek Man.
Yeah, they were right there when it exploded.
I feel like it would be so weird to kill her off. I felt like they kept hinting that she had such a bigger role to play.
Right. I thought she was gonna be like the underlying like Pike Syndicate
Yeah.
real hand and everything.
I can see
But
why
no,
they were
just,
portrayed
I
that
guess
way.
they're just proving that the sanctuary really wasn't as safe as everyone had thought. See, what I'm thinking is maybe like if you took away the Mando episodes, you could have done the Pikes destroying this and have like the city turn against Boba because he promised that he would keep like the sanctuary safe under his rule and under his protection, and clearly he failed. I think that would have been like a great little thing to have, like him regaining the trust of Mos Espa from that. I don't know.
Well, I did not like how you said that.
Mos Espa.
Mos
Yeah, I didn't like
Espa.
that.
Okay, so
Espa.
there was a computer game, like a pod racer Mos Espa computer game, where they literally play a song that goes like Mos Espa, Mos Espa.
I don't
And
like that at all.
Yeah, so it's always kind of been stuck like in the back of my throat. Whenever I say Mos Espa, I always say Mos Espa.
That's gonna bother me.
Mos Espa.
Stop.
Mos Espa.
The end with Luke basically being like, "Hey, I'm a dickhead. I'm terrible. I don't learn from other people's mistakes. Do you want to hang out with me and get a cool laser sword, or do you want to go kick it with your dad? No. Either way, you only get one of these, and if you pick the lightsaber one, you probably never see your dad again. But so I'll teach you how to be super strong and cool and stuff." And a list of questions here.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Absolutely, yeah, Luke, and a big old. The first question then is, what do you guys think he's going to pick here?
No,
Like-
the armor.
I
Yeah.
think so too. I think that's pretty.
Like
Slam
honestly though, he's
gonna get the armor, but he's gonna get the lightsaber. He'll get both eventually.
With
so,
the
too.
size that he has, like his little tiny hands, I cannot see him wielding Yoda's lightsaber as small as that lightsaber is.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Like, it's still way too big. And I'm like, if I were a kid,
He'll just
and I
use the
saw
Force
that,
to use
I'd
it.
be like, that's too big. I don't want that.
He'll just
Let me
control it
put
with the
on
Force.
No, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Like, I think that's a better alternative, is just have it floating around him like that one video game character.
Yeah.
Forget which Sith it is, but they just surround themselves with their lightsabers.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
I think he's going to go with the armor. I think Caleb might be right. I think he will maybe get both. But I do.
He takes the armor and then just knocks Luke out with just a good sucker punch. He just grabs the lightsaber and books it.
Well, I think he's going to get both because I think they kind of set the groundwork for that a little bit. One, with Mando having the Darksaber, and two, one thing we didn't mention is during the part where Luke is training him, Luke does say to Ahsoka, "It's not so much my training as it's him remembering." So it sounds like Grogu sort of has some PTSD, and he's sort of repressed the Force within him, and now he's kind of opening up again.
Yeah,
Maybe
I wasn't
already,
sure how much training he'd had.
Maybe he's already fair. Like he's a baby, but if he was in Jedi care for 50 years,
right,
or whatever,
he would
it's
learn
safe
something.
to assume he's got plenty.
Right.
A couple other less important questions here, many of which we already kind of answered. One was, did Luke just give Mando directions? Like, how did he know where to go?
Yeah.
But that's not really one that we.
I like to imagine, like, after he got in the elevator and, like, goes down, like, a couple floors, he goes, "Ah, shit, hold on, I gotta go give him the address." And then he goes back up the elevator, walks into the room, Mando is, like, crying on the floor. Everyone's just standing around, like, I don't know what to do with this guy. And he walks over, just slides him a piece of paper. It's like, there you go. If you need anything, that's where we are. And then leaves again.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon.
See, then the thing was all like, Luke clearly doesn't want Mando there, so why would he even let him know?
It's true.
Couple other questions before we go to the this or that section here. You guys remember when the Bad Batch was out? There were like rumors that, hey, maybe the Bad Batch boosts Grogu from the temple. Do you think that there's any chance that still happens?
No.
I know. I kind of forgot about that. I still think that's kind of dumb.
Who then, like, this is stuff that maybe we will have uncovered, but then, like, somebody's got to save Grogu, because those guys are shooting every fucking thing in their face. Like, who comes in, boosts him, and saves him?
I like the.
What if it ties in with Jedi Fallen Order 2 and we find out Cal Kestis actually somehow?
Yeah, but that would have to.
That would be such a mega stretch.
And I would have to jump backwards.
Yeah.
Assuming that.
I like the image of, like, Mace Windu just looking absolutely smashed up from crashing to the pavement, still surviving. Just, like, being like, "Hey, kid, come on, we gotta get out of here." Like, his teeth are falling out of his head. There's just blood gushing everywhere. He's just like, "We gotta go." And Grogu's just
I don't know what they're gonna do, though.
I'd rather chill with the guys shooting at me than...
We'll find out eventually, though. I'm sure.
Yeah, and it would have been different if they had said that they hadn't specifically said that he was on Coruscant, right? If he had been on a different Jedi temple, on a different planet, perhaps.
But no.
But no, he specifically was on Coruscant. What else did I have on here? I wrote, question, why is Luke a dick and a terrible Jedi?
It's because he's so good and nice that he just has to be a dick.
I was frustrated because he very clearly has not learned or read or been intuitive on anything.
That's another thing, because, like, in The Last Jedi, he talks about how he tried to revive the teachings of the old ways, and that's what led to the failure of everything.
How well did that work for you? Yeah.
So, I mean, we already kind of knew it was going to happen. We're just
Right,
seeing
we know
more
what's
of it.
going to happen, but like, it's just
But you're
frustrating
right.
to me because
Why?
there's Ahsoka there who's Miss. I don't want to follow the Jedi
Yeah,
way.
but she's clearly not helping because she's like, yeah, Jedi all the way, man. Let's go.
She's like, I know, yeah, that's the thing. Like, why is she not helping? Like, what's going on?
Right. She's at fault for Kylo Ren and everything. She's a part of that.
Also,
I may have found the answer to like how Mando found Luke, and it was probably Ahsoka.
it could be.
Yeah,
Loser.
she probably gave him the coordinates.
It's yeah, I don't know. Luke, he's also like doing the whole no attachments thing, which is like literally why his dad turned evil.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's like, Luke, you've got attachments. Like, don't lie. Come
Yeah.
on. And
To his sister, to his father, to his friends.
all of the High Republic books, that's always kind of like an issue that I think the Jedi back then handle a lot better. They pretty much it's not quite as binary for them. Like they definitely allow a little more leeway there. They a lot of times will say, that like in order to truly love life and things like that, like attachments and feelings and stuff are inevitable, right? You just have to be able to push them aside when it matters. Like, not that you can't have them,
Right.
but that they should not consume you. Rather,
The High Republic is so amazing. I want more of it.
It's a lot. It's cool. I'm excited to see shows, games, whatever they have
Oh, yeah.
for that, because the books and the comics are killer.
Yeah.
Guess last questions then. Any predictions for the finale? What we think is going to play out here?
I mean, we already kind of said the how we want Cad Bane to go.
That's true.
Ooh,
I want
wait.
that to happen.
Cad Bane gets absolutely murked by Boba Fett riding a
Yeah,
Rancor.
just immediately.
Would be legit. I mean, I would be upset if Cad Bane just got done out in the first 2 minutes, but
Right. No, they're gonna kill Cad Bane off screen. I would be infuriated.
that would be yeah.
He
frustrating.
doesn't get killed off. He gets his own series where
God,
he just
jeez.
stands in the background the whole time and other people go on adventures. But they call it the Book of Cad Bane. And he isn't there except for like a few episodes.
I think this has to be a big episode. I think it's probably going to be one
Yeah, it
that
has to be
they're
an
gonna
hour
throw
and a
down.
half.
But I also think, and I think I've said this to Caleb, I wouldn't be surprised. To me, it feels like if it's not like an hour and a half thing, if it's just another 45 minutes, I don't see how they can wrap up what they were doing through the first 4 episodes. I don't
Right.
think they have enough time. So that's why I'm kind of
Season
thinking
2.
with this thought process of sort of shared Mando-Verse, I wouldn't be surprised if there were Boba-centered episodes in Mandalorian then, almost kind of like a shared time thing there. Maybe we do get a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or maybe it's just sort of like Boba Fett was sort of a sub-story of Mandalorian.
God,
and then
I
he
hope that's
becomes,
not
like,
all it chalked up to be.
then
That'll
he
make me mad.
becomes a pretty important character in that. I don't know. I don't feel like there's enough time to wrap up everything that I would want to see. I especially think it would be bad if they had more Grogu stuff. I think we won't.
Here's my solution to that issue is Mando Season 3 needs to be 8 episodes long, and then we start off with an episode with Mando, and then the next 5 episodes are dedicated entirely to Boba. And then we get Mandalorian again at the final 2 episodes. That's what I think they should have. Just to make up for it.
I don't think that they need to keep them together because Boba's not really as into the Mando stuff as the Mandalorian is. So, like, it's just to keep him connected with all this Mando and Mandalore stuff going on. Like, Boba Fett's not really in on that. He doesn't care about that, I don't think.
I think Boba showing up in like a battle on Mandalore would be cool.
But I don't think he cares about that.
No.
Like,
what I'm saying is like
for help,
having
sure.
Mando's his buddy.
Yeah.
In all actuality, I don't think he should be in Mando Season 3 as much. I think we're going to get more
Or at
Bo-Katan.
all.
I think we're going to get more Grogu. But I think like
Sabine.
in some finale battle that takes place on Mandalore, I think Mando's going to call in all reinforcements. Like he's going to get
And that's
Grief
fine.
Karga to
That's
come
totally
in.
fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming that Boba is going to be involved with. It's just like the finale, that kind of thing.
I think that would make good sense. I do think, like I said, I got a hard time seeing it finishing properly with Boba here.
We need a
So
season
maybe
2. That's what I
maybe there
want.
is a season 2.
It's fair.
I think it's
Although
it's certainly
considering how
possible.
Lucasfilm is looking at like all of our criticisms and complaints about the season, they may just straight up think no one likes the show whenever Boba's in.
Yeah, because they only
it's
focus
not
on
gonna
the
continue.
toxic people.
Well,
Right.
Ruin
Well,
the
that's
That-
well, we see
that
that they
and-
have done that before because they heard all the toxic people yelling about the Last Jedi, and they went, "Okay, so they don't like the Last Jedi. Let's do Rise of Skywalker, and we're just gonna completely ignore the Last Jedi and say like, oh yeah, none of that happened. Let's give Kylo Ren his mask back. Let's repair a lightsaber. Let's do all this instead of exploring new and fun Star Wars concepts." And
Well, say what
giving
you
them-
will, Rise of Skywalker is badass, and I love every second of it, and I love the way all of those movies flow together.
Okay.
I love it. I love it all. Woo! Shout out Star Wars.
It-
Shout out new trilogy. Let's go.
A little bit of whiplash on some of those. I was gonna say I don't think it's just to Bailey's point, like saying, "Oh, well, people don't like this show and Boba Fett is," and I don't think that's just the toxic fans, because even the fans who love Star Wars, right? Even the non-toxic, chuds. These are the 2 best episodes of the show, and Boba Fett's not in it.
For the wrong reasons.
For sure, whatever reasons they are, but that kind of is like, even the people who do love Star Wars, it just shows how much more. And maybe it's how much more the fans like Mando, or maybe it's creators just like Mando more. It could be that, like, I don't know, because it is kind of all this Filoni Favreau stuff, like that's kind of their baby, and I don't know. Grogu gets you money. Mando gets you money.
It's all about money.
The strongest episodes of the Boba Fett show have not had Boba Fett in it.
Yeah, it's
which
sad.
I agree. It's a disservice to Boba Fett.
The point of the series from the start, at least whenever I see Book of Boba Fett, is giving Boba Fett that second chance he never really got
Right.
from the original trilogy. Even the Clone Wars didn't really do him justice. And so to see him like in all of his glory, doing his thing in his own series, I was excited for that.
Me too.
And we got to see him doing his thing, but it's all been build up and not really action and like getting down to it. And then we completely divert from that build up and go back to Mando, which is the more well liked and
Mood
well
killer.
series on the whole. It just, yeah. I'm hoping the finale ties everything together, and I'll overall maybe rank this higher on my list. But we'll see about that next week.
Yeah, I am curious to. Obviously, I can't make a final verdict on it until it has finished.
Yeah.
And we'll do our show ranking next week as well. We'll have to talk later about what all to include and what all to not include on that. But let's leave it at that. Hopefully, we'll be back to talk about the final episode, which I'm hoping is long, and I'm hoping is a straight banger. But we'll boop, 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 transition over to our next little segment here. Okay, so that, ladies and gentlemen, was episodes 5 and 6. Only one mild Caleb rant there, mild to moderate rant. I think we thought as a whole, Star Wars TV, maybe not great Book of Boba Fett TV. That makes sense. Now, at the end of episode 6, obviously Grogu is given a sort of this or that. Would you rather type of decision there? So just a little sprinkle of bonus content at the end. I came up with a list of 12 different Star Wars themed this or that questions, and we'll just kind of go through those real quick, see what we think about these, and we'll actually start with the first one being Grogu's choice. If you had to join the Jedi or join the Mandalorians, would you pick?
Jedi.
Jedi, no question.
It's a debate, definitely. It's a debate, but I don't know. I mean, I think I like the idea of working with the Force a little bit more than just the Mandalorian and way of life. I guess I don't know. It's cool, but also I've probably said it already. I think Mandalorians are a little overrated. So
I think I
Jedi.
would lean Jedi. I think I would lean Jedi too, especially High Republic era Jedi.
Oh
I
yeah,
think they get a lot more flexibility,
def.
and for them it almost kind of seems like they're explorers and surveyors of the galaxy, which they are less which they are less of come the original run of movies there,
Yeah.
or the prequels trilogy. Bailey, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd go Jedi. I think overall the Mandalorian route is a little more dedication than anything, and the less easy life to live
Mm-hmm.
and life to lead, because it's just all war and all fighting, whereas the Jedi is all about, you know, scholarly exploits, discovery, self-discovery, meditation, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, like High Republic, like you were saying, Zach. That would be awesome to do.
Yeah.
And they mention in the High Republic there's this type of Jedi called the Jedi Way Seekers, and they are, I don't want to say they're like gray Jedi because gray Jedi makes me cringe.
Right.
But they are Jedi who gets to work independent of the Jedi Council. Like the Jedi Council doesn't tell them where they're assigned and things like that. They just get to go on their own way and explore. They go where the Force guides them, and not where the Council tells them to go. And there's one like just a little nugget in there where they mention that one Jedi Way Seeker actually became a minor pop sensation. They actually started a music career as a Jedi, and I thought that was kind of funny.
That is funny.
Our next question then is: would you rather have a double-sided lightsaber, or would you rather dual wield lightsaber?
Double sided, hands down. I'm a mall boy. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And don't get me wrong. I think it would be a lot harder to use. Like if I'm answering this question and I just am perfect with my double bladed lightsaber, then that. But like in terms of actually learning to use, probably two lightsabers.
I think I would go dual wield and not double sided for that same reason. I feel like it's probably a little trickier to learn the double sided than dual wielding.
I'm sticking with double sided though, just for the sake of it.
Yeah, no, I'd go double-sided just because that's basic staff work.
It's badass.
It's very badass. I would probably go with that. That one for me would be easier to learn.
Now, if the answer was
Modify.
Now, yeah, what if it was like Cal Kestis' lightsaber in Fallen Order, or that lightsaber that Rey has and the evil Rey has in The Last Jedi?
I don't understand the point of it. Why would you have it unconnected?
One?
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't want a connector. I would just want the whole length. Just
what is the
sturdy.
point of her lightsaber like that? Why would you have it?
Well, it can fold. It can fold and then hook into double sided.
Right, but like when it's not double sided, it's just this weird chunky lightsaber that you have to hold.
I don't know. It looks cool.
I think it's a little weird personally, but
one of the Way Seekers from High Republic has one of those lightsabers too.
I need to understand the benefits of it. I feel like I'm missing something.
I think it looks cool, but I do question the benefits of it.
Right, that is pretty cool.
So I was the only dual wield there. Next question then: prequels or sequels? Prequels or sequels?
I guess I gotta go prequels.
I'm going sequels.
It's hard. It's so hard.
I think I'm probably gonna go prequels also, and it's tough for me because
I love the sequels though. I really do.
The last Force Awakens, very good. Last Jedi, that's a top 3. Like for me, that's tippity top. I love that movie, and I know that's.
Wait, you said you love The Last Jedi?
Love The Last Jedi.
That's crazy. I agree with you. I really love it. It's most people hate
I
it.
love The Last Jedi. It's the most divisive one. Um, I just I don't love Rise of Skywalker. The more I think about it, I think I don't love it
Oof.
because of
Oof.
I think I don't love it because of how much I love Last Jedi. And then
No.
yeah, because they, it, and I don't hate Rise of Skywalker, but it felt like they just discounted so much of what I loved in Last Jedi, and I think that kind of
Well,
took a
that's
little bit
that's
away.
kind of
Same
you
though.
could say the same thing about that's what the Last Jedi did to the Force Awakens. It just killed the Snoke hype and everything. I was a little
I thought that was
disappointed with
cool
that.
though.
I was, of
And
course.
ultimately, it is cool. Like I said, I love the way that all three of them flow together. Like when the movies were coming out, it was much different watching. Like you felt different because you had years in between to come up with thoughts of what you thought was going to happen, and then things play out differently. But I love the way they flow together now. I think they're perfect. I love them.
I think I definitely I like all three of the original trilogy, so of course that one's at my top. And between the sequel and prequels, I like two of the sequels, and I really only like one of the prequels. Like I would consider two of the
Boo.
sequels like good
Boo.
movies, and one of the prequels a good
Boo.
movie, and that is
Shut up,
Revenge of the Sith.
bitch!
Boo.
Boo.
I love all three of the prequels.
I do too.
People like to come in and poo-poo on bad dialogue.
Right.
But screw you.
Screw
There's
you.
a pod race. There's a double-sided lightsaber. Yoda comes flying in a shuttle carrier.
Clone
A
troopers.
bunch of guys shooting things.
General
I don't know why
Grievous.
people. I don't know why people dump on Clone Episode 2 as much as they do.
It's great.
That confuses me. And then
Yeah.
I said The Last Jedi is one of is a top 3 Star Wars movie. The prequels have a top 1 Star Wars movie, and that's Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, the only number one.
It is number 1. So that's why I'm gonna go prequels there. Bailey going sequels, Caleb going prequels.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like prequels, sequels, OG trilogy for me. I love
Honestly, maybe for me too.
it. Yeah.
Um,
Nothing on the
which I
old
know is-
trilogy, but that's
it's
just the
probably
way
gonna
it is.
get. They're probably gonna. Star Wars fandoms are probably gonna waterboard me and Caleb for saying that.
I love them all. It's not anything
No, I know.
hatred. Yeah,
I
like
do too. I just
we
like,
just enjoy the other stuff a little bit better. And like me and you, I mean, all this, we grew up with the prequels, dude. Like we grew up just in awe of those. It's
Yeah.
so good.
oh, good. Next question: would you rather learn Force Lightning or the Jedi Mind Trick? Force Lightning or Jedi Mind Trick?
Lightning.
Lightning. Lightning's just badass.
Shit, guys, I was gonna go Mind Trick. Like,
That's fine.
what useful application does Force Lightning have other than murdering people?
That's
I
all you
mean,
need.
That's
That's
why
exactly
you
what
don't
it's for.
use
That's
it.
why I want it.
That's why you don't use it unless you really need to. Like I would never use it
Torture.
just because I
You
want
then
can
what's
just
the
use it to
point?
torture.
Just like, but I'm just like, I would get use out of Jedi Mind Trick if I only used Force Lightning when I needed to. It's like, okay, what? Like I'm out hiking through the woods and a mountain lion comes up on me and then I electrocute
No. This is this. I would use it for my very leftist
Charging your
ideals
phone.
and promotions. So if my boss is ever like, "Hey, guess what? You're fired," I'd be like, "No, I'm not," and then zap them until
Yeah,
they
I
change
would-
their mind.
I'm saying like
And
I'm
you're thrown
picking
in the
lightning.
slammer.
I was just saying I'm picking lightning because I'm gonna abuse that power. Like I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna try and accomplish things, and I'm gonna wreak havoc. Like
If my cell phone battery is like at 1%, I just zap it a little. And
that's
next thing you
something
know, I
else
have
you
full
could do
battery.
as well. Not my primary objective, but yeah.
I don't know. I would get way more use out of the Mind Trick. Just doing like little minor, tiny little things. You know,
Little
If someone is
hijinks.
being racist to a coworker, I just zap them and say, "Hey, yeah, don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
or you just go, you want to go home and rethink your life.
Yeah.
And then he goes home and rethinks his
Or I
life.
go, "You want to go home and I'm gonna fry your brain." And then
Right.
zap them.
All right, right. Calm down there, Ezra Miller. Jeez.
Zippity zap.
That I'll talk about it later. I was laughing about something from the last episode of Peacemaker. Let's keep going then. Would you rather go on a date with Lando Calrissian or Han Solo?
Lando Calrissian, no question.
Lando.
It's Lando for sure.
Especially
100%.
if it's Lando at the time of Solo. Woo!
Got a closet for his capes.
He's
I
an
mean, what
attractive
else do you
man.
need?
I mean, it's good.
Easy, quick. Move on to the next one. Would you rather spend a week on Mustafar or spend a week on Hoth?
Hoth.
Yeah, probably Hoth.
Because if I fall down in the snow, I'm not going to die immediately. But if I fall down in the lava on Mustafar, or just any of the hot rocks, I just die.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Hoth.
I hate being cold, though. I hate being cold.
I do hate being cold.
I hate being cold, but then once you go inside...
Yeah, I assume we're not just
that's a
out
great
in the environment. Like, we probably have
there-
a place we could stay.
Building, you could go kick it in Vader's castle or something.
That's true, that's true.
And then in Rise of the Skywalker, parts of Mustafar are, like, terraformed,
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on what. I'd go Mustafar, personally. I just don't want to... Hoth just looks nasty cold. Just cook some marshmallows or something right where Anakin died. Would you rather have a BD droid or a KX security droid, like K2SO? BD or K2SO?
BD.
Yeah, I think BD.
Same. The K2SO droid is just kind of scary. I wouldn't want one of those walking around in my house.
Yeah.
He'd be great
I'd
security
prefer
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'd want the BD. I'd like him to be like just on my back like he is on Cal's.
Top on your shoulder. Just hang
Yeah.
out.
That'd be cool.
Oh, cute. A fun one. Next question. The Battlefront games or the Rogue Squadron games?
Battlefront.
Yeah.
If we're talking original Battlefront, definitely Battlefront.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm going to have to go Battlefront overall.
If it's recent if it's the new era of Battlefront games where it's just the first-person shooters, I would go Rogue Squadron. But if it's original Battlefront, I go Battlefront.
Yeah. I agree with that completely. Those Rogue Squadron games are definitely very fun, though.
They are very good, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that was a quick one. Would you rather have a pet Porg or a pet Ewok?
I would feel bad to have a pet Ewok.
They seem a little more sentient.
Yeah.
They have they're civilized. They
Yeah,
have society.
they know what they're doing. Yeah, I'm gonna go Porg.
Prefer a Porg.
I was gonna go Porg just because I think Porgs are cuter and Ewoks are a little scary. Like, I would be afraid the Ewok would, like, bash my head with a rock or something in my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
3 more questions to go. Next on the list, the Millennium Falcon or the ship formerly known as Slave One?
Slave One. Slave One. Don't get me wrong, Millennium Falcon, fast and everything, but Slave One.
I'm gonna go Falcon. It's a little roomier.
I was about
it's a place
to say
that you could
Falcon.
live on. Like, you could live on that ship.
That is true. That does have more benefits, I suppose.
I'd
I just like
Falcon.
the sonic booms.
Those are good, but you get very limited use out of them unless like you're in actual conflict, which I would avoid at all cost.
Lame.
I'd prefer to run.
I'd prefer the sonic
Falcon is
boom.
good.
Not a split. Sonic Boom is great, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd fit the Falcon with some of those. Let me just cheat a little bit.
2 questions remain. Next question, second to last question. Din Djarin or Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba's still my favorite.
He's still my favorite.
I'm gonna go Din Djarin here, man.
Shocker.
He's got.
He's great. He's great. But Boba's better. I like Boba
I
more.
mean, from what we've seen on screen, I think Mando is the better character. I think he's cooler. I think he is
Better character,
He's
yeah.
better
Better
developed as
bounty
well.
hunter, no.
I don't know, man.
Well, then again, all we've seen of Boba bounty hunting is he caught Han Solo, fell
That's
into
all we've
Sarlacc.
seen, but he had an entire life that we just didn't see. It's not been
No,
explored.
Right, yeah.
Boba
He's
Fett's
clearly
cooler.
a renowned bounty hunter. Everybody knows him.
Yeah, in the comics and stuff, Boba beats ass. You
Yeah.
know? But I'm still gonna go Din here. That is a character that I care more about than Boba Fett.
Well, boo you.
Well, boo me. And the final question then, Star Wars adjacent here. Neither one is currently finished, but based off what we have so far, Peacemaker or the Book of Boba Fett?
Peacemaker.
I'm going to say I've been more satisfied with Peacemaker. It hasn't made me angry at any point.
Yeah.
But if you would have asked me this before these Mando episodes came out, I maybe would have said the other way. But they changed me. But yeah,
I think I'll go Peacemaker too. I think that 2 Mandalorian episodes of Book of Boba Fett are better than anything that Peacemaker has done. But for judging Book of Boba Fett as a show, those aren't really Book of Boba Fett episodes. Peacemaker has been
wow, that's opposite of me.
surprise. It's been quite enjoyable for me. I've really liked it. I think it's a lot of fun. So I think Peacemaker is current winner for me too. Crazy stuff. I never would have guessed. I would have. If you had asked me before these shows came out, which one would I enjoy more, I probably would go.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have even considered Peacemaker.
Same.
The question would have been, which do you prefer, the Star Wars show or the DCEU show? And
Right.
it's such a surprise that a lot of people are like, yeah, no, the DCEU show is better.
Which I can't even follow what is canon in that universe, but I'm really
even
enjoying
try.
this.
It's
I don't even bother.
Yeah,
tough to track it down.
very.
Oh yeah. So there we go. That was the last one. Be curious to see how both of those shows finish, but that's it for us here today. Adios, goodbye, farewell. I hope your life doesn't pass you by like these last 2 episodes did for Boba Fett.
Mando.
And looking forward to talking about the finale and ranking the Star Wars shows next week. Peace.
Peace.